The PS2 has one of the biggest and most diverse game libraries of any system ever. With well over 2,000 games for the console, it is no surprise that some of them are a little bit weird and wacky. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes a weird game can end up being loads of fun just because it's different and not the same as the rest. I'm your host as always, K-Mac Time, and today I want to take a closer look at the top 10 weirdest PS2 games. Starting on our list is Killer 7, which was developed by Grasshopper Manufacturer and published by Capcom. It is a bizarre mixture of a third-person action game and an on-rails first-person shooter. The game follows this insanely weird plotline of these 7 assassins who perform hits on the behalf of the government, but all hell breaks loose when you uncover a deeper conspiracy. Not only is the plotline weird, but the unique art style and gameplay mechanics really set Killer 7 apart from other games of its time. The game actually gained support of a fan cult following, which led to developers releasing the next game in the series called No More Heroes on the Wii. Next up is a truly odd game that'll make you wonder what the hell I am playing. Vib Ripple was actually a sequel to an already weird PS1 game called Vib Ribbon. Anyway, this game, you basically just bounce on a giant trampoline that's made out of a picture of all things, and you try to get the items above you. I mean, that's basically it. The game is incredibly strange and sounds really weird too. It has weird moments where these weird vector graphics rabbit starts dancing and singing and just all kinds of crazy odd stuff that I have no idea what's going on, only in Japan type of stuff. It's just so out of the box weird. Anyway though, the game was actually pretty innovative for its time because, believe it or not, we were allowed to upload your own pictures into the game to bounce on. At the time, you could do it with your cell phone or you could do it with the internet. It was kind of neat for the time. But anyway, the game was only released in Japan, and for good reason. I don't think the West was ready for a game quite so weird. Back in the early 2000s, Jackass was super popular, and it was only fitting that it would get its very own game on the PS2. And in 2007, it got just that. It is basically just a collection of Jackass-themed minigames featuring the actual people from the show, like Johnny Knoxville and Wee Man. It sounds like a perfect recipe for one hell of a weird game, and trust me, it is. It has just about everything you expect to see from a Jackass crew. Lots of nut shots, gross challenges, bone-breaking stunts, and just about every CKY song you could ever imagine. I've never played anything quite like this game, and to be honest, it's not all that bad. I think it's best played with a friend in multiplayer mode so you can see who wins the most absurd minigames like Rock, Paper, Nuts, or the Poo Tug. Jackass game may not be the best game ever, but it certainly is memorable. Another MTV show that got its own extremely odd PS2 game was Pimp My Ride, the popular car customization show featuring the rapper Exhibit. And okay, not every game on this list is necessarily a fun game, but it is strange none the least. The game has you tricking out people's rides in Pimp City, of all places, and you try to outdo rival pimps who are also tricking out other cars. You can do the typical paint jobs, rims on cars, but you also add what they call the finishing touches, like pulling out a runway or putting a 50-inch TV in the trunk. All kinds of crazy things you can do. They're just kind of over the top and dumb. But where it gets even weirder is there's a part of the game where you have to do what is called ghost riding the whip, which is essentially dancing next to your car as it idles down the street with nobody driving it. And it's such a weird part. I mean, look at this. Everyone is just stoked out of their mind to see you bust some corny ass moves as your car coasts into a telephone pole. A truly odd experience and a game that'll make you laugh if nothing else. Madden, MLB, and of course Tiger Woods PGA Tour. But a much crazier golf game is called Aqua Teen Hunger Force Zombie Ninja Pro-Am. Based on one of my all-time favorite adult cartoons, this game is loaded with hilarious moments from characters like Meatwad or Master Shake and Frylock and Carl and the Moon Knights and all other favorites. If you're a fan of this show, you'll know who I'm talking about. But the thing about this game is it has funny gameplay, which features not only a halfway decent golf sim game, but also is like a beat-em-up style fighting game mixed in with it, in which you have to fight your way across the golf course while trying to get the lowest score possible. I mean, it's this crazy yet very unique experience, and one that's worth your time, especially if you're a fan of Aqua Teen Hunger Force like I am. You'll definitely want to give this game a try. Next up is a Japan and PAL region exclusive, as it was never released in North America, and that kind of sucks because Gregory Horror Show is actually a pretty fun and interesting game. Weird, but kind of fun. It's based off of a Japanese anime show of the same name. The game is based around you navigating a creepy hotel in order to retrieve people's souls that have actually been bottled and are being kept by the hotel's guests. No doubt an incredibly weird and wacky premise, but like I said, the game is much better than you'd think. In fact, it's like such a hidden gem on the PS2 that many collectors will pay a pretty penny for it, and it goes regularly for over $100 now. So if you happen to come across a copy, make sure to pick it up and give it a play, because it's definitely worth your time despite being a very creepy and weird title. One of my favorite PS2 games is also easily one of the weirdest games I've ever played. Katamari Damacy is just so kind of crazy. The game is based around trying to rebuild the stars, constellation, and the moon because, get this, they were destroyed by your father, the king of all cosmos. So what do you do to do this, you ask? Well, rolling a ball of everyday objects together until it's big enough to be a star. I mean, that makes total sense, right? That's something that would happen. Anyway, it sounds weird because it is weird, but somehow it not only works, but it works incredibly well and makes for one super fun game. I mean, just starting out with small objects and slowly getting bigger and bigger until eventually you're swallowing up whole buildings and consuming and all this kind of crazy stuff in your ball. Katamari Damacy is a very weird but excellent game, and the one that you should definitely give a try if you haven't already played it. Next up is another oddball title that was an exclusive to Japan. Love Story is an action-adventure interactive movie game that features real-life actors and incredibly cheesy acting to go along with an insanely weird plotline. You play the role of a young man who dies in a motorcycle accident, and he is sent back to Earth by the ghost Ai, the Angel of Love, who tells him that he may revive him if he gains the love of a girl named Lena within 6 days. To do so, you have to accomplish all sorts of wacky things in order to gain her affection, and it's just so out of this world crazy to me. And this is the kind of thing you only see in Japan. There's like this weird acting, and like I said, super over the top cheesy acting, just kind of lame, but it's so like a charming and funny. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. Japanese games tend to be on the weirder side, but this one, like I said, it's just out of this world crazy, and it's no wonder that it never made its way stateside. Our next game is called Stretch Panic, and it was made by Treasure, who are usually known for making some top-notch amazing games. But this one is next level weird. It's an action platforming game where you play as Linda, whose scarf gets possessed by a demon, and she must use it to save her 12 sisters. How, you ask? Well, by squeezing the giant titties of her enemies. No, I seriously, that's how you attack them. It's not just like, it's like, whoa. I mean, and also, look at these exaggerated boobs on these enemies. I have no idea what the developers were going for here. This game actually plays pretty well platforming wise. It isn't half bad if you guys can just get over the incredibly weird and wacky character design and the absurd plot. Shockingly, this game actually got a North American release, so keep your eyes peeled for a copy if you ever want to fondle some big titties with a scarf. I mean, wow, mind blown. And finally, easily the single weirdest game I've ever played on the PS2 has to be Mr. Mosquito. As one would expect, the goal of the game is to collect as much blood as you can from humans so that you guys can survive the winter. But to do so undetected, because if the humans see you, they will undoubtedly try to swat and kill you. The game has become somewhat famous for its levels that include sucking blood from a naked woman in the bathtub or in the bathroom, which are undoubtedly weird as hell, of course. And believe it or not, there is actually a sequel to this game that was only released in Japan. And yes, this game is also super fucking weird. But again, weird doesn't always mean bad. In this case, it's so bad of a game that it's kind of fun and kind of quirky. So it's simply one you just have to play and experience for yourself. But anyway, guys, that's all I have time for today. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more video game content. Let me know down in the comment section what are some of the weirdest PS2 games or other games that you've played on any system, and what system I should cover next in this series. Should I do weird GameCube games or weird Xbox 360 games? And like I said, be sure to check out some of my previous PS2 videos on hidden gems and rare games. Links in the end slate. But until next time, guys, remember, it's always KMAC time somewhere. Until then, take it easy and peace out.